What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Dog House. Hey, so this, normally I'd put this under politics, but it's not really political, and it's not about guns, so I don't know what I'm gonna put this under on my playlist. I'll probably put it under politics, but as you can tell from the title of the title of the video, AOC and Ilhan Omar both claimed that they were arrested at a protest in DC in front of the Supreme Court. Now, were they actually arrested? The answer, I'm going to say from my own experience with law enforcement, as a security guard who quite literally just yesterday went over this stuff in class, I'm going to say no. They were not officially arrested. Now, here you can see AOC's tweet saying that she was arrested. Now, we're going to cover the video, so don't pay too much attention to that. I couldn't find Ilhan Omar's on my PC. I've got it on my Twitter, but I'm not going to fuck around and try to mash all that stuff up. Now, the DC police stated that they had made the arrests. They didn't give out names. So at first they said, what is it? We made 34 arrests or something like that. Yeah. We made a total of 34 arrests for crowding, obstructing, or accommodating. That arrest number includes 16 members of Congress. Then they come around later and they say, correction, we made a total of 35 arrests for crowding, obstructing, or accommodating. That arrest includes 17 members of Congress. As far as I can tell, they didn't mention anybody's names. But yeah, I do like this though. This is what the media will show you. This is the reality. No cuffs at all. So the question is do you have to be handcuffed to be officially arrested? Well, I went and looked that up. Right here. And this is why I say they were not officially arrested, okay? They were not put in handcuffs, therefore they were not officially arrested. Now, like I said, I just went through this for my job on cuffing and making arrests. Anytime you are going to detain somebody or make an official arrest, you're gonna want to handcuff the suspect not only for your safety, but for their safety. You don't know what their state of mind is. As an officer, you have no clue what the suspect's state of mind is. You don't know what they have on them. You don't know what they can get to. All you know is that this guy might pose a danger, therefore I need to put cuffs on them to help control them. I need to be able to make sure that they're not going to be able to hurt me, themselves, or somebody else. And that's why officers will often, during traffic stops, they might put you in cuffs, depending on where you're at, depending how sus you're acting and stuff like that. They might put you in cuffs to search your vehicle or whatever. It all depends on you and them. It depends on that interaction. Sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they won't. They don't have to, but they might. All right? And that's to, like I said, that's to ensure their safety and yours and the safety of everybody else around you. I cannot stress that enough. You're going to hear it several times probably. But let's go over this. The Code of District Columbia, Code 5331.11. Use of handcuffs, plastic cuffs, or other physical restraints on persons arrested in connection with the First Amendment assembly, which this is what that was. This was a First Amendment assembly because they were practicing their right to free speech by protesting in a peaceful manner. However, they decided that they were going to sit down in the middle of the street, which is a safety violation. All right, they could have gotten hurt. They could have gotten run over. So many things could have gone wrong. So the DC police had to step in and break it up. Section A. The MPD shall adhere to the standards set forth in subsection B of this section in using handcuffs, plastic cuffs, or other physical restraints on any person arrested in connection with the First Amendment assembly who is being held in custody in the following circumstances. All right, you are going to cuff them in these following circumstances. The arrestee is being held in a police processing center. They were not being held in a police processing center. You're going to see that. They're simply escorted off the street. So this one, nope. Therefore, they're not arrested. No need to handcuff them. A, to determine, or you're going to put them in a police processing center to determine whether the arrestee should be released or the method for release. To determine whether arrestee should be presented to court or pending presentation to court. So this is telling us why they would go to a processing center. You would put cuffs on them and arrest them if the arrestee is being held in an unsecured processing center and is not being held in a cell, or the arrestee is charged solely with one or more misdemeanor offenses, none of which have as one of their elements the commission of a violent act toward another person, or a threat to commit such an act, or the destruction of property, or a threat to destroy property. None of this happened during this protest, guys. Nothing was being threatened. Nobody's life was being threatened. No physical harm was being threatened. No property was being destroyed. So there's no reason so far, or there's actually just no reason for number 3 to happen. No arrest, no cuffs. B, with regard to any person who is being held in custody by the MPD in the circumstances identified in subsection A of this section, the MPD shall use handcuffs, plastic cuffs, or other physical restraints only to the extent reasonably necessary and in a manner reasonably necessary for the safety of the officers and the arrestees. Didn't I just say that? Provided that no such person shall be restrained by connecting his or her wrist to his or her ankle, in other words, no hobbling, and no such person shall be restrained in any other manner that forces the person to remain in a physically painful position. I don't necessarily agree with this, because what might be painful to you might not be painful to me, and vice versa. So this is subjective. This could be this right here could be challenged in court easily, and the suspect can easily get off on this one. If I was part of the DC legislation, I would clear this up a bit. Nothing in this section is intended to restrict the otherwise lawful authority of the MPD to use handcuffs, plastic cuffs, or other physical restraints on persons arrested in connection with the First Amendment assembly at the time of or immediately following arrest, while arrestees are being transported to a processing center, or while arrestees are being transported to or from court. To or from court. They weren't going to or from court, so there's no reason to handcuff them. They weren't going to or from a processing center. No reason to handcuff them. So there was no reason to handcuff them, therefore there's no reason to arrest them. Or you can say there was no reason to arrest them, therefore there's no reason to handcuff them. This right here proves that they were not arrested. They made the claims they were arrested, but they were not in fact arrested. We can look at it right here. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Today, Representative AOC was arrested along with other members of Congress outside the Supreme Court for protesting in support of abortion rights. They were not arrested. Absolutely false. U.S. Capitol Police lied. They said they made arrests. They did not make the arrests. They did not do it. Now, let's go to the video so I can show you kind of what we're talking about here. We're going to be pausing. I'm going to show you the whole video. We're going to come back and we'll pause it. So here we go.
She's a House member, yeah. Yeah. No, she's a member of the House.
Right. Right. They were arrested. Sure. So if we're following this, let's see here. Can I not skip ahead? There we go. So another reason why I'm saying that they're not arrested. Let's come up. Where's a good one to look at? All right, we can look at this right here. This is how you know that they're not being arrested. All right. This is what's called transporting, where the officer has hands on the suspect and they are transporting them to wherever they're going. This is improper transport. Control of one elbow when they're not cuffed and she's not cuffed. Control of one elbow is not proper transport procedures. I can guarantee you that. You're going to have 2 points of contact on that person. You're going to have an arm on the you're going to have a hand on the shoulder, a hand on the elbow, a hand on the shoulder, a hand on the wrist, a hand on the elbow, or a hand on the elbow and a hand on the wrist. You're going to have 2 points of contact on that arm at all times when you are transporting, even if the suspect is compliant. Because I can tell you right now, if she was handcuffed, wearing heels nonetheless, all she would have to do is step into a grate, step into a manhole cover, you know, the little holes in the manhole cover, step into one of those, fall flat on her face, and now she's got a lawsuit against this guy and the DC police. I'm telling you, that's what would happen, because this isn't going to keep her from falling flat on her face if she were to trip. This right here would not do it. So he is not escorting her. Therefore, she is not arrested. I can promise you that. Now, if we keep going forward, I don't know why she's putting on the show other than to put on a show, but you can tell from the video she's got this cute little smirk on her face like she knows what she's doing. It's all a photo op, guys. That's all this is. Right there, look at that. That is not the face of somebody being arrested, especially the face of somebody in Congress being arrested. She knows this is all political theater. That's all this is. It's straight political theater. Oh, there we go. No cuffs. I don't see any steel bracelets. Do you? Do you guys see any steel bracelets around her wrists? Because they're not there. They are not there, and I guarantee you her hands would not be like that if she were in the cuffs anyways. That would be so uncomfortable, guys. You have no clue. I literally just went through this yesterday with cuffing techniques where I was handcuffed and I did handcuffing. And the guy who handcuffed me, he tried to cuff me like this. It doesn't work. It is so bloody painful because the cuffs would be twisted right here, which means the cuffs themselves are not placed properly on the wrist. We're talking about serious damage. Serious damage. We're talking about the skin being broken. We're talking bleeding. We're talking, at the very, very least, some major bruising if her hands were like this and they were cuffed. Not good. Moving on. And then she waves. She fucking waves. So you know she's not cuffed. There she is, waving to the crowd. So we know she's not cuffed, so she's not arrested. And then we have Omar, who isn't even being escorted off the street. They came up to her. I saw the officer earlier. It was a black officer, black female officer. She came up to her, told her, "You need to get up." She got up. She put her hands behind her back like she was being arrested and just walked off the street all by herself. The cops did not even escort her off the street. Yet she's claiming that she was arrested. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here with that BS. What you trying to do, girl? What you trying to do? There ain't no cuffs. There ain't no cuffs. So, anyways, guys, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Hey, look, don't believe everything the media tells you, because like we saw in that one tweet, the media is going to show you the front-on version. CNN, MSNBC, all of them. They're going to show you the front-on version, making it look like these women were arrested by the DC police, and they were not. absolutely positively were not arrested by the police. Even though the police tweeted saying that they made the arrest, they did not make the arrest. It did not happen. It's all fake news. They were simply escorted off the street along with several other protesters because they were sitting down in the middle of the street creating a safety hazard. Plain and simple. That's it. Game over. End of story. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. With that being said, guys, as always, be safe, be cool, have fun. We'll catch you in the next one.